local veterans programs. Our second speaker in this segment will be Priscilla Clark with the Virginia Veteran and Family Support Program. Priscilla is a veteran family support resource specialist working out of the Springfield office. The Veteran Family Support Program provides outreach, connection, and support to veterans and their families as they address the challenges of military service, transition, deployments, post-traumatic stress, and other behavioral health concerns, as well as traumatic brain injuries and physical injuries. Ladies, thank you for being here today. Johnny?
Good morning. I am Johnny Bork. I'm Quantico Benefits Office, Virginia Department of Veterans Services, and we will be reviewing, going over disability benefits and other benefits that you may be entitled to. Next slide, please. About DVS, we have 34 offices throughout Virginia that connects veterans to their connect the benefits they've earned and services that they have earned. We have current information on federal, state, and local veteran program and entitlements and referral services to the Virginia through network of 34 benefit services. DVS is a state agency and all services are provided free of charge. We do not charge for anything. We are here Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Next slide, please. Like speaker had noticed, we mentioned we have several, we call them pillars throughout the Virginia Department of Veterans Services. For benefits, Ms. Priscilla Clark will be speaking on veteran and family support. We do have cemeteries, care centers, education, employment, and transition, and the Virginia War Memorial. On our website, the dvs.virginia.gov website, we have links for each of these pillars. If you would like more information, you can click on either benefits or cemeteries, care centers, and then that they will take you to their website, and they have their POC information on the website. Next slide, please. And like she mentioned, our mission, is to provide Virginia veterans and their family members with accurate, timely, and ethical education and assistance in obtaining the federal and state benefits they have earned through service and sacrifice to our Commonwealth and our nation. We will help, excuse me, my voice is going in and out. I do apologize. We will assist you with filing your claim to the VA, or we will assist you on whatever you may need. If we don't know, research it for you. Follow through with everything that you. Next slide, please. We serve all veterans and their dependents and survivors in developing, filing, and prosecuting claims for benefits under the complex laws of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. We do have lawyers on board that if you need assistance from our lawyers, if we hold representation for you and it's something our lawyers can do, this is free of charge, of course. We do not charge for anything that we provide for you, your veteran, your spouse, or your dependent. Next slide, please. We are accredited through the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs to submit claims for appeals to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. We have to take a we have to certify for a test, and we all have to pass that test before we are able to file a claim. We either electronically submit all claims and appeals, or we mail them to the VA directly. The appropriate regional office. Our regional office here is in Roanoke. Yep. Our claims every month, at the end of the month, this Friday, we have to track our claims to ensure the VA has received them and that they are processing them properly and in a timely manner. Our lawyers have access to the VBA, Veterans Benefits Administration, for when you file a notice of disagreement or appeal. Our lawyers can, and again, these benefits are free of charge. Next slide, please. Okay, so what we do for our veterans, like I said earlier, we file compensation claims and appeals free of charge. We can enroll you in VA health care. We will, it is here. I shouldn't say easier, it's faster, because if we file your health care, for you, if you go to the CBOC itself or the medical center itself, you'll be enrolled right then and there. But we can assist you with filing for our for health care eligibility. We do pension claims, veteran pension claims, dependent and spouse pension claims. You do have to qualify for those types of for the pension claims, and we'll talk about that later, a little bit later in one of our slides. We have aid and attendance claims, survivors benefits claims. They're called DIC, dependent indemnity compensation. We will speak about that later in the presentation. Claims for burial benefits, eligibility for VA home loans, life insurance applications, application for education benefits, and outreach like we're doing right now. We do outreach all the time. This past Sunday, my coworker did a great outreach in the Naval Yard. We provide itinerary sites. We have an itinerary site in Culpeper, which we are not going to right now due to COVID, but here hopefully in the near future, a couple of months from now, we will be returning to our itinerary site in Culpeper. And then we also refer to local, state, federal social services. And we are a veteran service organization. Next slide, please. Like I mentioned earlier, we file benefits to the VA, disability, pension, service connection. I'll explain service connection and what it means. Increased rating, aid and attendance, and also increased rating for aid and attendance. All right. So disability compensation benefits. Next slide. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Disability compensation benefits. The purpose of disability compensation benefits is designed to compensate a veteran for diminished work capacity as a result of a disability incurred in military service. So basically, if you were on active duty and you got hurt on active duty and you went to medical for it, and it's documented in your medical record, we can, and it's been chronic, we can file a claim for disability compensation. You must have your DD-214. If you do not have a copy of your DD-214, you can go to www.archives.gov to request your DD-214. It will take a while to get your DD-214, but that's how you order your DD-214. Disability compensation is a benefit for current disabilities that are related to an in-service injury, illness, or hazardous exposure. Disability compensation can open doors to additional benefits such as health care. If you're rated, even if it's at 0% for hearing or for tinnitus or whatever, you can receive health care from the VA, from your local VA hospital or clinic. There are no time limits to file a claim after service. I have veterans who have contacted me who have served in Vietnam. And I have a few before Vietnam, but not too many, that they are filing claims today and the VA's approving them. So it's never, ever, there's no time limit ever to file a claim after service. The sooner the better, of course, but as soon as you can, there is no time limit, so please file your claim. Next slide, please. Okay. So first, the process, first we file a claim. And then after we file the claim, you will have an examination through the VA. The VA will call you to schedule an examination. Each service-connected disability is rated based on the rating schedule found in CFR 38 Part 4, or 38 CFR Part 4. Ratings are designed based on a schedule between 0 and 100%. The lowest is, of course, 0%, and the max you can get is 100%. Ratings can be increased if service-connected conditions worsen. Age is not a consideration in worsening of the disability. For your payment, it is tax-free compensation. Your VA disability compensation will never be taxed, and this is paid for the rest of your life. When you're going to your CMP examination, please keep that in mind, that this compensation is for the rest of your life. Right now, you may be feeling fine. It may be hurting you and irritating you, but remember this, 20 years from now, it may get worse. So that's when we file our increase. If something's hurting today, it will not get any better. So keep that in mind. Next slide, please. All right, so to file a disability compensation requirements and in-service events, that when you were on active duty, you hurt your shoulder is still hurting today, your doctor is giving you a current diagnosis of your shoulder. That current diagnosis is shoulder impingement syndrome. The shoulder impingement syndrome is current and it still hurts you. Now, the third thing you need is a nexus theory, a nexus letter. You get the letter from your doctor. The doctor explains the severity of the issue and how more likely than not it's related to your military service. There are many examples of nexus letters on the internet. If you Google nexus letter, many will pop up. Majority of doctors in this area know what a nexus letter is. And they have their own example. If not, you can Google nexus letter and samples will pop up. Those are the three requirements for service connection: an in-service event, a current diagnosis, and a nexus letter from your doctor. If you have, this is not a requirement, but it helps a lot. If you have medical records from your civilian doctor, not your military doctor, not your military records, your civilian medical records showing that your shoulder impingement syndrome is chronic and has been chronic for the past few years, you can include that with the disability compensation file or claim. You don't need to, but it always helps. The way I tell my veterans, the more you provide the VA, the better your claim will be. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is just what I was saying. The event, you can also provide lay and buddy statements that if you had buddies with you that saw or spoke with you about the shoulder injury, you can have them write statements for you. The VA has what's called duty to assist. They will reach out to the archives and grab your military service treatment records. You do not need to get your military service treatment records. All you need to provide or want to provide is your civilian medical records. You do not need your military service treatment records. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are common issues that veterans want to claim, but the VA does not recognize them as disabilities. So for this first one, if you're if you're trying to claim tachycardia, which is your heart beats really, really, really fast, You cannot claim it on its own, but if you have a disability such as chronic artery disease, we can try to do Tarcadia secondary to your coronary artery disease.
You're talking about
And
Tarcadia.
I'm not going to read off the rest of the list to you because you can read yourself. We will let you know what you can and cannot file. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is it. How do I know what to claim? We will let you know. We are the SMEs. We call it subject matter experts. We will let you know what you can and cannot file. We will let you know what you need to file that claim. Next slide, please. Now, if you, like I mentioned earlier, if you disagree with the VA decision letter that they send you, we have lawyers on our staff to help with the filing of the notice of disagreement or the appeal. Supplemental claims for the boards of, let me start off with the legal argument, the BVA, our lawyers will assist you with that. We do have to get their permission first. You have to tell us what you have for evidence and we will speak with our lawyer and our lawyer will say yes or no. I would say 98% of the time, our lawyers say yes. We'll file it. We'll file an NOD or appeal for them. Supplemental claim, if you disagree with it, you need new evidence the VA has never seen before. Higher level review, you cannot submit any new evidence. That is just, hey, VA, you totally messed up. This is in my medical records. I'm providing you everything that's needed. I want you to look at my medical records again. That's what a higher level review does. Majority of the time, we tell our veterans to file supplemental claims because if the VA will just look at your record again and more, if they do an HLR, higher level review, more than likely they will disapprove of it again. So we do request new evidence the VA has never seen before. Next slide, please.
Johnny, can I interrupt you for just 1 second? This is Lisa. And for folks on our call, Johnny, unfortunately, her Zoom didn't work on her computer, so she's on the phone. And I think we're a slide behind. Johnny, can you tell us which slide we need to be on to make sure we're correct?
Disagreements with the VA decision, Appeals and Modernization Act.
I think it's the next slide, Jenny.
I do apologize. I probably
That's
didn't say
okay.
next.
That's okay. We just want to make sure everybody gets to follow along with you. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay. I apologize. Like I said, she said, I am over the phone. My Zoom, it wouldn't work correctly. For disagreements with the VA decision, this is Appeals Modernization Act. We call it the AMA for short. If you ever do disagree with the VA decision, we will explain the Appeals Modernization. I'm gonna call it AMA because I'm like tongue twisted right now. I do apologize. We will explain the AMA to you, and we will decide together, you and I, of what is the best route for you to follow. Okay. We will assist you with your decision. We will tell you what we feel is best and what we've had experience, and then we will let you decide which way to go, okay? Next slide, please. Benefits of service connection, easier enrollment to VA healthcare. CBOC, we have 2 CBOCs in Fredericksburg. We have a CBOC at Fort Belvoir, at the hospital in Fort Belvoir. Of course, we have the Washington, D.C. VA Medical Center and the Richmond VA Medical Center. There is a medical center, I believe, in Martinsburg. I'm not too familiar with the CBOCs out west, and I do apologize, but I believe there's one in Martinsburg. You receive free treatment for your service-connected disabilities. Temporary, if you have a surgery on something you are service-connected for, you can get temporary 100% rating for however long the VA decides. There is CHAMP VA for your offered by the VA to your spouse and child dependents under up to age 23. And then if you are 100% permanent total, real estate tax exemptions and personal property tax exemptions. Each county is different. So you have to please contact us or contact your the county you live in for the tax exemption. Next slide, please. If you need adaptability to your automobile, that's something we could also try and apply for you. Automobile allowance, adaptive equipment grant, special adaptive housing. You have to go through the VA for that. So you have to contact your VA doctor, and then they will go through the procedures for adapting your house to your service-connected disabilities. And again, improve of home improvements, structural alterations. Next slide, please. If you are 100% permanent in total, and you have children under the age of 18 up to 26, they may get an allowance. If they're going to college, they will get an allowance of $1,000 paid to the student. Then we have what's called the Virginia Military Survivors Independence Education Program. If you have a child between the ages of 18 and let's say 29, 16 to 29, the state of Virginia, and you're 100% permanent in total, no, 90% to 100% permanent in total, and your child is going to a public Virginia school, the state of Virginia will pay for 36 benefits up to 36 months, 8 semesters. But it has to be, you have to apply for this. You have to apply for it on our website, dvs.virginia.gov. And again, you have to apply for it. It is first come, first serve. I have not seen anyone declined of it. You just have to be very patient, and you have to apply for it. It is a very good program. And you can get both the Chapter 35 DA and we call it MESDEP, Virginia Military Survivors Independence Education Program. Your child can get both. Next slide, please. We have voc rehab, and that's something you have to apply for. We can assist you with voc rehab, although they have their own website and stuff like that. You cannot have a dishonorable discharge. Next slide, please. Again, more about voc rehab. You will receive a voc rehab counselor once you enroll and once you are accepted into voc rehab, because you do have to be accepted and you have to apply for it and be accepted. Once you are accepted into the program, you will get a counselor, and they will assist you with what you need for employment services and for training. All right, service connection. Next slide, please. So sorry, next slide. Service connection compensation percentage breakdown. If you receive a 0% for something, whether it's hearing, your shoulder, your knees, your back, you are still service connected. The VA recognizes that something happened to you and that it's an issue that may become worse. It is not compensatable, meaning you cannot get money for it, but you can go to the VA and receive treatment for it. So 0% is a rating, it's just not compensatable. 10% is the first, it goes by 10, obviously 10 to 100, and 10% is the lowest. If you are rated 30% or higher, you get a little bit, if you're service connected at 30% or higher, you get a little bit extra for each dependent that you have. And it's also with the federal employment, you get a boost for when you apply for a federal job. 40% or lower, if you are receiving in receipt of retirement pay, 40% or lower, they will take that little bit out of your retirement check, and that part is tax-free. So they will take that little bit out of your retirement paycheck. If you are 50% or higher, you can receive your retirement check, full retirement check, and a full VA disability compensation check. So you can receive both at the same time. like I said, 90% or higher, you can receive state benefits for your dependents, for them to go to school, for the state of Virginia to pay for their school. Permanent and total at 100%, or IUs. We have 3 different types of 100% when it comes to the VA. We have a regular 100%. We have a permanent and total 100%, which has the benefits of the tax exemption, the schooling, and the personal property. And then you have what's called IU. IU is individual unemployability. You can actually start that at 70%, but those are the 3 different types of 100%. If you have any questions in reference to the IU or any of our ratings or anything I spoke about, please let me know. Next slide, please. Survivors benefits, we have DIC and pension. DIC is if the veteran passed away from a service-connected disability, that is called DIC. We just have to provide the VA with the death certificate, and then that's it. For pension, you have to apply for pension. It is income-based. The widow has to meet the maximum allowed. You're only allowed to make so much money per year. That's for pension. You have to apply for it, and the VA has to accept it, has to say yes for pension. DIC is automatic because they died from a service-connected disability. Next slide, please. These are our references, Veteran Affairs VBA, and our also Benefits Division, dvs.virginia.gov. Next slide. Any questions? Do I do the questions now, or you said we do the questions after everything, correct?
We are. We're going to hold until the very end, and we're going to do questions. And if folks would just write their questions down as we go, that way we can kind of move through the presentations and then get to the end where we're going to have some time for that.
Okay. Well, that was it. Thank you to me. And I thank you.
Thank you, Johnny, so much. And thank you for being so kind and helping us even with that technical difficulty today. Next up is going to be Priscilla. Priscilla?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, good morning. My name is Priscilla Clark. I am a veteran resource specialist. It is such an honor to serve and give back to military families and help assist them with their needs. I myself am a military spouse. My husband is actually active duty, going on 17 years, coming up the end of March. So I'm familiar with the military culture. All right, so we're going to move forward in regards to the Department of Veterans Services. I have 2 computers here. I have my, my computer, and the phone is the video. So I'm using the laptop for the slides if you see me looking back and forth. The objective is to go over the veteran population here in Virginia, of course, explain Department of Veterans Services, and elaborate regarding Virginia veterans and family support. Virginia has approximately 721,894 veterans. We are ranked the 7th in the nation for the largest veteran population. We rank 4th regarding the younger veterans, as well as we have the largest percentage of women veterans here in Virginia. As Johnny talked about before, the pillars regarding the different departments within the Department of Veterans Services, of course, benefits, the care center, cemetery, the education, transition, employment, the department that I am in, Virginia Veteran and Family Support, and the Virginia Memorial. We have 4 care centers. We have one in Selman, one in Richmond, one in Fauquier, and in Virginia Beach. And we also have 3 different cemeteries located in Dumpling, Amelia, and Suffolk. Virginia Veteran and Family Support, in response to the growing need of improvement and expanded services to our nation's veterans and service members, the Commonwealth of Virginia established the Virginia Wounded Warrior Program in 2008. And since October 2015, it has been designated as Virginia Veteran and Family Support. Our mission is to provide resources for referrals to different organizations that requires them to assist our veterans and their caregivers as well as connect them to care coordinators as well regarding like behavior health, or get them connected regarding homelessness. Who do we serve? We serve all veterans of all branches, regardless of their discharge status. We also work with the National Guard and Reservists, Virginia. As long as they are not on active orders, we assist them with their needs as well, and their family and caregiver also. We have 4 regions. We have the North, the East, the West, and Central. Of course, I am here in the North area out of the Springfield office. Right now, we're all teleworking. So right now, no one is in the office, but we still provide our services via telework. Okay, Veteran Resource Specialist, which is myself. We base needs and develops and coordinate services plans, connects the individual, offers care, coordination, support, assistance, and we monitor the progress they're making with the service connection that we provide. So even though we connect a veteran with a clinician, or we connect you with the organization that's going to help you find proper housing, we still stay in contact with you on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis to make sure that you are satisfied with the services that you are receiving and that your needs are being met. And then once you have been established, then we part ways, but we stick by your side and stay in communicating with those veterans as well as their family members until we see the end result. The Veteran Peer Support Specialist. The peer support specialist is like a coach, your own personal motivator, encourager person to help you with personal management on your daily living. They also help get the individual, the veteran, if they're dealing with behavioral health challenges, of course, connect them with the clinician as well, making sure that they are attending their sessions and making sure everything that they're receiving some relief from what they're going for. And of course, that peer support specialist also, twice a month, we have the peer support groups where other veterans attend, and they get to talk about pretty much what's on their mind, what they're talking about regarding that topic of the evening, and just be able to help one another, you know, how they got through what they were going through, and kind of like feel like a battle buddy atmosphere a little bit. We also have the Veteran Justice Specialist. The member of the Justice Specialist, they work with veterans and service members that are involved in the criminal justice system. They interface in regards, they go to the court system, the docket programs, and then when the service member or the veteran are in the process of re-entering the community, that justice specialist, they identify the needs, they develop a coordinated service plan for that service member or veteran. And then once they do that, they connect them to the resources out into the community to help them get reacclimated outside of being incarcerated. As stated before, our main goal here is to definitely get our service members and our veterans connected regarding behavioral health. So definitely get them connected with clinicians, whether it's the free organization that provides sessions for our veterans or private clinicians themselves. And of course, getting the veterans that are in need of becoming more stable with housing, connect them with the rapid rehousing assistance program, and connect them with other resources that can help assist them with housing as well. Of course, where our headquarters is in Richmond, our website is the dvs.virginia.gov. I myself, the Virginia Department of Veteran Services, and that's pretty much the end of the.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I know when I talk to veterans, many times folks are not even aware that we have a Virginia Division of Veteran Services. So Thank you so much for sharing. I encourage all you veterans out there to jot down that contact information so that you can reach out to them for support. My experience has been that the Virginia Division of Veteran Services is very accessible and very eager to help veterans. They do a great job here in Virginia. So next up is the Martinsburg VA Medical Center. Since 1944, the Martinsburg VA Medical Center has been improving the health of the men and women who have so proudly served our nation. Services are available to more than 72,000 veterans living in 22 counties in Western Maryland, West Virginia, South Central Pennsylvania, and Northwest Virginia. In addition to the main facility in Martinsburg, VAMC Martinsburg services 7 community-based outpatient clinics and offers My Healthy Vet, which is a web-based software that gives veterans information and tools to improve their health. First up in this segment is Phil Garvey. Phil is a Veterans Outreach Program Specialist. Phil will be reviewing Martinsburg VAMC services and provide information on the supported service areas. Next up will be Jenna Cadal, and she is a licensed clinical social worker with the VA home-based primary care program. Jenna helps veterans navigate the VA home-based primary care program. And finally, we'll have Richard Harris. He's with My Healthy Vet. He's the systems administrator there, and he's going to discuss their web-based software product offering and the value this type of program brings to veterans. Phil?
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Outstanding. Well, a little of my thunder was taken, but that's okay. So we're going to start with who do we serve and where are they? And this is a list of all the counties that we serve. It's 22 counties in all. As it was said, we have outpatient clinics in Cumberland, Fort Detrick, and that clinic is actually on Fort Detrick. Hagerstown, Harrisonburg, Virginia, Stevens City, Franklin, West Virginia, and Petersburg, West Virginia. I did want to make one kind of small correction.
I'm sorry, it's Ellen. Is there a PowerPoint up?
Can you see what I'm doing?
No.
Okay. All right, let's see. Now, can you see what I'm doing? No, you can't, can you?
No.
All right. There you go.
Okay.
Woohoo! Yay! All right. Jenny, are you controlling that or am I?
Jenny is,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think Jenny's got it.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
on the phone trying to do this, so you'll have to tell me which one to go to.
You are perfect. That's on the service map. And if we can go to the next one that says Martinsburg VA Medical Center overview,
Okay,
or Martinsburg VA Medical Center. It'll list all the services.
It's not the fact sheet? Oh,
Yeah, yep.
okay, let's see if this works. Hold on.
Life during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that the
I'm a
truth?
guy who's lucky if he can start his car. So all of this technical stuff.
Here, is this the one? See
I'm
if
just
this
thankful
is
you're
it.
here.
Is that it?
Yay!
Oh, good.
All right, we're there. All right, so if you can kind of scroll down, this covers the full variety of services that are listed, from primary care to specialty care, to mental health, geriatrics and long-term care, and also palliative care. One minor correction. When a veteran has a 0% service-connected disability, that veteran is still going to be subject to a means test. means testing means that VA healthcare is based on income. That started in the Reagan administration and has continued through this day. So if you make too much money to not be eligible for healthcare, but you have a 0% service-connected disability, the VA will treat that service-connected disability at no charge, but you won't receive any other healthcare services. If you get a 10% disability or greater, then you are eligible for VA healthcare regardless of income. Any service-connected conditions will be taken care of at no charge. If you are copay required, then you'll be required to make copayments for VA healthcare. It's $15 for primary care, $50 for specialists. And Jenna, correct me if I'm wrong, we're at $8 or $9 for monthly supply on prescriptions.
That's
So,
correct.
hey, yay, all right. The other thing that I want to bring up, and I'm going to put this in the chat box here. There have been a lot of questions about COVID vaccines. And I am going to put this update in the chat box. Where's chat? There's chat. Yay. Okay. This is currently in the chat box. We are currently doing COVID vaccinations. We are using the Moderna version of the vaccine. Currently, we are taking veterans 65 years or older or essential workers. There is a telephone number on here where you can get constant updates. So as we move into the next group of people that would be eligible for the shot, and we're also using Facebook as one of our primary ways to distribute that information. So that information is now in the chat box, and I can also send it to Lisa in a different form if anyone is interested. Last but not least, there was one other thing. Let's talk about dental care. One of the services that is referenced on there was dental care, and Johnny brought this up, so let me talk about two different categories. 70% or greater, you are eligible for long-term care if it's required. The VA, however, does not cover assisted living level of care. So if you need assisted living, unfortunately, the VA will not cover that. If you need long-term care, then you would be eligible for that if you're 70% or greater. In order to receive dental care, you must be 100% service connected or receiving individual unemployability and be rated as permanently and totally disabled. So those are just a few of the highlights. And when we get to the question and answer period, if you've got questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So I'm going to turn this over to Jenna, who is one of the best social workers in the business, and she handles our home-based primary care. And after that, you're going to get Richard Harris with My Healthy Vet. I will tell you, he's the smartest man I know, and he also has a very bad habit of beating me on the golf course. So with that, Jenna, I leave it to you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Jenna Cottle. I work in home-based primary care through the Martinsburg VA Medical Center. Basically, what home-based primary care is exactly what it says. It's taking primary care to veterans in their home. Kind of think of old-fashioned house calls that the doctor makes, and that's what we're doing. The only thing is we take a different approach because we take a team approach. As we age, as we have more complex medical issues, we need lots of help, not just from the physician, but we may need other healthcare specialists. And so we take an entire team into people's homes. And we go into homes and we go into assisted livings. We do not go into nursing homes, just to make that kind of clear. But our team consists of a medical provider, which would either be a physician assistant, or a nurse practitioner. a registered nurse, a physical therapist, a dietitian, a social worker. We also have a pharmacist and a psychologist that we can consult as needed and who oversee things for us as well. So it's really a comprehensive approach to healthcare, to primary care. Many of you may know that many home-based services and skilled home care and that sort of thing have a requirement that you be absolutely housebound, which means you can't leave the home except for medical appointments. Home-based primary care does not take that approach. We take the approach is if it's difficult for you to get in, you can come into our program. So we encourage people to get out and do things as they are able and try to connect them with, obviously not now with COVID, but under in the normal world to include, help them with socialization opportunities and different things within the community as well. We work out of, we do have a limit on where we can serve just because of the logistics of our teams driving. So what we have done in Martinsburg is we have placed teams based out of our different outpatient clinics. So we have a team working out of Martinsburg. We have a team working out of Stevens City, Virginia, one in Harrisonburg, Virginia, one in the Petersburg, Franklin area in West Virginia, and one out of Cumberland, Maryland, which means then we can go, it's approximately an hour radius from any of those places to provide home-based services to veterans. Currently, we are serving, as of yesterday, our home-based primary care census was 591 with 21 consults that we're trying to work through and get people into our program. Most of our program, actually, most of the time we are working with older veterans, but it is not only for older veterans. Sometimes we do have some of our younger veterans who will benefit from that home-based services. So there's no age requirement or age limits or anything like that. We take primary care into the home. We do not take specialty care into the home. Specialty care people still need to go to the VA, but the primary care team helps people work through logistics related to that as well. Because we're an interdisciplinary approach, not only do we deal with the healthcare issues, the medications, that sort of thing, but we deal with looking at the home environment for equipment. Our nurses can draw lab work so people don't have to go in for that. Our pharmacists can oversee medications and help people with that. We provide supplies. As the social worker, one of the things that I do is focus on both VA resources and community resources. So we're making sure people are taking advantage of everything that they are eligible for and anything that might be of help for them to stay at home. The goal is, I always tell people I do home care because I believe in people staying at home. Now, sometimes circumstances overtake us and that doesn't happen, but we do work very hard to keep people in their home. And one of the things that we know is that our program actually helps decrease hospitalizations and it helps people to stay in their home longer than they might be able to otherwise. So and I personally, obviously I'm somewhat biased, but I think it's a great program in that people get a lot of personalized service that's a lot harder to do if they're having to make all of these appointments with all these different specialists. So that's a brief overview. Thanks for letting me share about a program I'm really proud of and proud to work and honored to work with all of our great veterans. Thank you.
And if I can just make one addition, during COVID, home-based primary care operations have not stopped. So the providers that are going into these homes, if you want the living picture of people that are our new hometown heroes, right, folks in home-based primary care certainly meet that. That it's, you can't beat it.
Thanks, Phil.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate that. And Richard's up next.
Richard, is your phone muted?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Got you now.
All right, are you seeing my screen?
we are
Yeah, we
seeing
are.
your screen.
It's just a one-pager on My Healthy Vet. And one of the things I wanted to cover, My Healthy Vet is something that the healthcare industry is doing. It's not a VA thing, but the VA just happens to be one of the industry leaders. My Healthy Vet is a way for veterans 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the world. Sounds far-fetched, but it's exactly correct. Any device, anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day, veterans can access their records and do particular functions with their records.
Richard, I think we've lost the PowerPoint, the slide.
How about now?
There we go. There we
There
go.
it is. Sorry, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. I'm going to cover the big five on My Healthy Vet. One of them is pharmacy. Now, I'm a veteran myself, and I use it. I'm an actual user. The previous Secretary of the VA, I gave him assistance because he was a user of the system. But the pharmacy allows you to refill your prescriptions, track the delivery. Instead of calling the VA, I do this several times a day. I can't even count. It's helping veterans go in and I'll ask them, how did you order your refills? Or I call in and say, you no longer have to do that. No matter where you are in the world, you can pull up all of your refills, click a button, and refill your prescriptions. You can actually, like today's Tuesday, if Thursday you wanted to know what that refill is, you can actually track it just like a UPS package. And then when it gets in your mailbox, you get an email saying, go look in your mailbox, your medicine's here. I love that feature. But you can refill prescriptions. You can actually go in and see a history of all the medication you've ever taken through the VA. The other one is secure messaging. That's probably one of the most popular features of My Healthy Vet. But this allows you to actually communicate with your providers 24 hours a day, anywhere in the world, once again, through secure messaging, non-emergent issues. For one example I use all the time to tell people about the broad range of this, there's a veteran he's a truck driver. He's in Afghanistan. He has to do his finger sticks for his blood sugar to maintain his commercial driver's license. He's sending his finger sticks in from Afghanistan to Martinsburg so he can control his glucose levels. So it doesn't matter where you are. But you can send messages to providers, administrative, anything that you would probably pick up the phone to do, you can do through secure messaging. This feature is huge now during COVID because it's almost the only means of communication that veterans have. We were about this time last year, we were doing about 5,200 messages a month. Right now, I think last month we did a little over 12,500 messages. So this is to show you how popular it is, and it's very embraced by veterans and staff. You can check appointments with secure messaging with My Healthy Vet. You can go in and see what are my active appointments, what appointments did I have in the past. During normal operations, you can actually schedule and request your own appointments. Some of those features are not working right now because of COVID, but that is a feature that's available. You can still see all of your appointments through My Healthy Vet. Health records is another big one. You can actually go in and see x-rays, MRIs, CT scans, everything your doctors and nurses are typing in your notes. You can actually see all your lab testing results, including COVID test results, and if you're filing a claim, you can see your CMP, compensation and pension results, but you can go in and see everything in your health records. It takes about, and I like to play with the veterans when they're actually showing them how to do this, they could pull about 6 months of their records in about 4 or 5 seconds. The Veterans Health Library, this is another one that's very helpful. It's almost like WebMD, where say the doctor says you're taking this medication, you're like, I don't know what that is. You can go and look it up. As I've had veterans say, well, I don't know what that means. Look it up. It's in your Veterans Health Library. You can go in and look up your own particular disorder or any of the medications you're taking, if you want more information about your test. But it's one-stop shopping for the veteran, and it's portable. It's accessible by your cell phone or from any device anywhere in the world. It takes about 10 minutes to sign up for it. I usually give veterans a little tutorial when I sign them up. But it takes just a few minutes to sign up for it, and you get a user ID and a password, and you're literally walking away from the system with the ability to see everything in your health records. That's all for me.
Well, thank you so much, Richard. We appreciate that. Not only are Virginia veterans supported by the Virginia Division of Veteran Services and Martinsburg VA Medical Center, there are numerous services provided throughout the community that many veterans are not aware of. Speaking today, we have 4 additional organizations that provide support to veterans and their families. AARP offers a variety of product services and support to veterans and their families. Janaea Luck, the Associate State Director for Outreach, will be discussing the role that AARP plays in the life of a veteran. The American Red Cross offers confidential services to all veterans and their families by connecting them with local, state, and national resources through their network of chapters in communities across the United States and offices on military installations worldwide. Patty Wilson is the Service to Armed Forces and International Service Manager and will be with us today discussing the American Red Cross and their services. Heroes Bridge is dedicated to serving elderly veterans aged 65 and older. Heroes Bridge helps to bridge veterans to a better quality of life through their age-specific and innovative programs. These services are available to our heroes wherever they call home, at no expense to them or to their families. Molly Brooks, CEO and founder, will be here to share programs and services offered by Heroes Bridge. Since 1975, Canine Companions for Independence has provided assistance dogs free of charge to recipients. Nancy Lagasse will discuss the Canine Companions for Independence program. Janaea, thank you so much for being here today.
Good morning, and thank you, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your service to all our veterans. If I may share my screen now, I will share a bit from AARP as well as the AARP Virginia State Office. Hopefully we are seeing my screen. Yeah. All right, very good. Well, again, AARP is very proud to be a connector. We have a long history of supporting our veterans, and our veterans are approximately 4 million of the AARP members that we have today. AARP has a 60-year history of being a convener and connector to valuable information. We were founded by a retired educator, and I always include this little tidbit in every presentation because Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus was a remarkable woman who founded our organization later in her senior years. We offer many community programs, and in this pandemic, we have had to ramp up and pivot very quickly our virtual programs. A lot of our trusted information relates to family caregiving, financial security, fighting fraud, and retirement savings, and protecting your nest egg. I really would love to encourage you to pay attention to this new respite relief program that was just announced last Thursday. AARP has a partnership with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, and please encourage all veterans, military caregivers to apply online to receive 24 hours of respite care just by visiting hiddenheroes.org/respite. I'm just going to take a minute just in case you would like to jot that down. This was just again released as part of our ongoing partnership with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation nationwide. However, we also started this relationship over 4 years ago, and AARP and the Elizabeth Dole Foundation produced a new, wonderful family caregivers printed booklet, and we have a new version also available online. But the Military Caregiving Guide is a resource book, almost like a phone book. I don't know how many of you use the phone book anymore, but in the effort of having a printed material as well as an online source of all the phone numbers of all of the wonderful service providers and nonprofits that are connecting veterans to great information. AARP also just announced last week that we have a new financial resource guide. And again, AARP has been in the business of working very hard to make sure that everyone is planning for their retirement sooner rather than later. But most importantly, empowering our veterans and military families to take control and plan for entrepreneurism, as well as reinventing their careers, and if they are encouraged or interested in getting back into the workforce. So AARP hosts a series of job boards. We have a specific job website, a job placement site, connecting veterans and those family members to employers that are age-friendly. We have instituted an employer pledge program. So again, definitely visit our AARP website. We often have different webinars, virtual events about revamping your resume, getting skills on doing virtual interviews, and then again, just making sure that you know the new trends that are out there to help you improve and strengthen your financial security. We also partner with the offices of attorneys general, and specifically AARP produced a Operation Protect Veterans booklet and a campaign that we launched in 2017 in collaboration with the U.S. Postal Service. So again, this booklet is called the AARP Watchdog Alert Handbook. And because we're not doing in-person events, we used to pass out these little booklets by the thousands at a lot of in-person events. Do know that our state office has a team of volunteers that are really, really great at doing Zooms, presenting this information virtually. So definitely let me know if you're interested in having a Zoom presentation. We are just ready to schedule one with you. Again, here are just a few of the areas on our website. AARP has a dedicated area on our website, aarp.org/veterans. You will see all of this new information, new partnerships, special discounts for veterans and their spouses, the Military Caregivers Guide, et cetera, et cetera. And in particular, I'm very excited because I'm working on 2 special projects for March, virtual events, one being March the 24th. We have partnered with Richard Louie, the documentary producer of Sky Blossom. Sky Blossom was debuted on Veterans Day last year, and we have been hosting regional screenings. So the first regional screening was last week and went very well, had several thousand veterans, military family members, and those alike to join in this evening broadcast where it was connecting caregivers to understand that caregiving is unfortunately starting younger, and we see the stories of those children that are taking on the role of caregivers in the film Sky Blossom, which is in the contender for an Oscar this year. So we're very proud of this movie. And then also AARP Virginia continues to be a resource to help salute our Vietnam veterans. We're planning a Vietnam Veterans virtual celebration on March the 28th, which might happen on March the 29th. We're finding a few of our speakers not as flexible to work on Sunday evening, but we are looking to again salute our Vietnam veterans with a virtual event that will include music and a lot of inspiration and encouraging words, as well as a panel presentation to deliver important information. So again, I thank you for this opportunity and truly, truly thank you for your time and your service and your sacrifice. And my contact information is here. Thank you.
Thank you, Janaea. Patty with the American Red Cross.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see faces that I often see in person, but as we're not able to be in person, once we get COVID over, we can be back together. So Lisa, Ginny, Ellen, thank you so much for pulling this together, and all of you for joining. Yes, Red Cross, we have been serving our military since Clara Barton was on the battlefield. We are federally mandated to support the military and veterans communities. We are a nonprofit though, so we don't get any government funding. We are working with 5 lines of service. Disaster services, our teams are very busy right now with still the power outages that we have in southern Virginia, as well as we have people deployed. We do blood services. Many of you will know about our blood services, health and safety, CPR courses, service to armed forces, and international services. So our motto always is to prepare, respond, and recover. So when we are preparing our military members, we are doing briefings for brand new service members who are joining the military, or if they are getting ready to deploy. We're responding to their needs of our active duty by sending emergency communication messages. Many of you, if you are having been veterans, and many of you may be Vietnam veterans, you may have gotten a Red Cross message when your baby was born. I have people come up to me and say, hey, my wife sent a message through Red Cross when my son was born, and I was in the bush here, and they'll tell me these stories, and that's always really special. Virginia is one of the largest military and veteran communities in the world, and to date we have done over 45 different cases since July 1st, since our fiscal year. So we keep really busy with that. We also are able to assist veterans who are retirees, having served more than 20 years, and our active duty service members, connecting them to financial assistance through the different relief societies. So if you're more than 50 miles from a military base and you are a retiree and need some emergency financial assistance, you can call our number that's in the resource guide, the 1-877-272-7337. They will do a budget with you. Red Cross will work through that, and then it is presented to the appropriate relief society. So Army Emergency Relief, Naval Marine Corps Relief Society. So that is one thing that we often have our veterans on the western side of the state who are not close to bases that are able to take advantage of that. We are also working with our veterans after they get out of the military. We support them with local resources. So we do critical community service cases. Sometimes we will have a veteran that will call in who is in need of a job or need of housing. And we work with all of you wonderful partners to be able to help make that happen. So we're connecting them with local resources. We do work very closely with the Military Veterans Caregivers Network. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but they have also offered Facebook portals to many of our veterans who are in isolated areas. Excuse me. COVID has really caused a lot of challenges in the isolation for those families and caregivers. They're often homebound anyway, but then with COVID quarantining has made it so much worse. So we've seen an increase in suicide, unfortunately, just a lot of isolation. So we worked with Military Veterans Caregivers Network and Red Cross and Facebook, kind of got together to talk about this. And Facebook has donated to date, I believe, 8,000 portals that are able to connect a lot of our veterans with resources so they can talk with their families who are other areas. They're able to join some local resource. You know, there are different workshops, WebExes like this that they're able to connect with and get a lot more information. So we work very closely. I have about 40 of those cases right now to reach out to those veterans. So that is something that you sign up through the VA. I can get you that information. If you're interested, I could send it to Lisa to send out. So I'm just wanting to make sure that you're aware of that. And we do support at the VA hospitals and our community-based outpatient clinics. We're able to get a lot of hospital funds through the Department of Defense grants. So we're able to get therapeutic supplies, art supplies. We did some robotic animals that are pets that are in the hospitals that have been very, very well received. Many of the dementia patients are having problems and that isolation. So these robotic pets, they respond to you, you pet them and they purr, and they have been a big, big hit with but we were able to purchase those with a private grant that we got. We offer masks we have volunteers that are sewing masks for the VA hospitals that are donated on a regular basis. We also have our resiliency workshops. This is something that I really wanted to bring to everyone's attention. In the past, we always would support these workshops in person. When COVID happened, the isolation was such an issue, and we realized that there's such a high stress level that everybody needs a little help. So we were able to originally started as just a COVID module that we have, but now we offer several different modules, and they are the stress solutions. We have creating calmness, which is teaching relaxation skills, exercises, deep breathing. We have effective communication, as well as a veterans caregivers one. That one focuses on ill, wounded, or handicapped veterans, as well as our service members. So that is something that we are very proud of. They've been going over extremely well. They are a 60 to 90-minute workshop that you would join on Zoom or Teams, or we would make allowances to be able to reach you however best we can. So it is offering a lot of different support for these families and caregivers and veterans and wounded that are at home and needing that assistance. So would love to be able to, they are taught by licensed mental health care professionals who are also Red Cross volunteers, who have been trained on the military culture. We all know that military life and veteran life is different than civilian life. So they are able to help with those connections. So would love to be able to offer those with you. Also, just want to throw in that on March 9th, I will be hosting a virtual Joining Community Forces meeting. Similar to this, I usually host them in person, but I have one that will be in the Charlottesville area on March 9th. So if you're interested in joining that and I haven't invited you, send me an email. My email information is on the resource guide. So thank you again for including me. I'm anxious to be able to support you all, and thanks for your service.
Thank you so much, Patty. We appreciate that. I think one of the most exciting things today for me is to watch in the chat and see all the testimonials about all the great veteran services that are out there. If you've not, as an attendee, taken a moment to do that, please do so. Up next is Molly Brooks, and she is with Heroes Bridge. Molly?
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today, and with all of these great presenters. Gosh, what a great region we have for veterans. I do want to take a few minutes to share about Heroes Bridge. Heroes Bridge was founded about 5 years ago, And our mission is to serve just the older veterans, so veterans 65 and older. And there were a few reasons that we felt that was important and that Heroes Bridge was needed. And I'll go over just a couple of those real quick. We found that what the older veteran needs is often very different than what the younger veteran needs, where our younger vets were coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan and needing help with employment and benefits and kind of re-engaging with their families and the community. Our older veterans, especially those in need, kind of needed very different things. They were socially isolated. They needed transportation. They just needed things that were very different than what the younger veterans needed. And also the severity of need. I probably should have introduced myself a little bit better, but I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for about 25 years and worked mostly with seniors during most of my career, and just saw that a lot of our most socially complex patients that we cared for in the community often were veterans. They had that history of service. And there seemed to be a severity of need with older veterans that was sometimes worse than other people in the community. And lastly, another reason that we felt Heroes Bridge was so needed is all of these wonderful presenters that have talked about the VA benefits and the wonderful things that are available to veterans. There are a huge percentage of veterans that don't qualify. You know, it's rather complex as to what you qualify for and why and when. So we found that even after going through the system, there were just a huge number of older veterans that served honorably, but kind of fell through the cracks of the system, and they just don't qualify. They just don't rate benefits. And we hated to see them kind of go without. So we decided to found Heroes Bridge. We built our programming around our work in the community. We kind of sat down and thought, over these years, we've been working with veterans. When the hospitals called and the churches called and the community called us to help, what were they calling about? So we built our programs around things we had been asked for over the years. And I'll run through those real quick. Our flagship program, the Battle Buddy program, is really the basis of everything else we do. So every veteran that we get called about is assigned a Battle Buddy. We are very fortunate to have an amazing Battle Buddy. A lot of you probably know her. Her name's Janelle, and she is on our staff and full-time in the community with our veterans. They're often assigned Janelle when we first meet them. She is like a navigator, a case manager, a friend. A lot of our veterans are extremely socially isolated. Many are homebound. So she gets in there and gets to know them over a period of time. We also have a large team, or a team, I don't know if it's large, but a team of volunteer battle buddies. And most of them are either veterans themselves or like family members of veterans. So they kind of get it. When they're working with our older veterans, they know the life, they know the stressors, and they're very familiar with what our veterans have been through often. So we have both paid battle buddies and volunteer battle buddies, and they're kind of case managers, and they navigate them through the system and also kind of identify needs in our other programs that I'm going to go over. I think our second most important program is our Resource Scouts. So we found that we live in an amazing region for both veteran services. We love the Virginia Department of Veteran Services. They are one of our biggest partners in what we do for our veterans. But it's kind of hard when you're homebound or when you don't know where to call. We often found that all of these amazing nonprofits and resources, our older veterans were having trouble even knowing they were there. So our resource scouts, social workers, and some just regular people get in there and kind of assess the needs and then connect them to all of the amazing people, many of them on this call. And we can kind of be a liaison. We can run a form over that needs filled out, or we can jump online and submit something if that's what's needed. So our resource scouts are amazing at kind of connecting them to everything in the community that will give them like longer term support. We also have a program called Homefront. One of our most frequent requests is to help veterans that are aging in their homes, and their homes are kind of aging with them, a lot of substandard housing issues. And the veterans, a lot of older people, and our veterans included, do not want to leave the home that they've lived in their whole life. So we do everything we can to remediate situations in the home. And we get just like a huge range. We've been asked to just add some grab bars in a shower. And then we've had extensive remodels of, the first thing that comes to mind is a veteran living in a trailer in Culpeper. We've spent actually 2 years working on him and his living situation and rehabbing, and worked with some amazing community partners in rehabbing that. So we can help with housing issues and yard work. That's our most popular. It's about time. It's that time of year we're going to start getting calls. A lot of our veterans can no longer get out there and mow like 3 acres or whatever. A lot of veterans, when they retired out of the military, they wanted to be in the country. They wanted, they got little farms or different things. And that was great for the first 20 years, but now that they're getting older, it's hard to keep up with. So we can help with that a little bit as well. Our Honor Guard program is probably one of our most fun programs. So it does a few things. We found that a lot of our older veterans never really had like a healthy processing of their time in service or a recognition of their time in service. So we put together shadow boxes. You'd be surprised how many veterans do not have like their medals or things that they earned in service. So we'll get their DD-214, we'll see what they earned, we'll put it all together in a shadow box. We also have a person on staff that will sit down with them and record their story, either in writing or actually record it. Of their time in service. That's really cool. We have a portrait program. One thing we thought was really sad is that all throughout life, you get your picture taken, throughout school, and then you graduate and you get married and you have a baby, and there's just all of this is like, throughout life, everybody wants to kind of capture those moments. But when you get older, people kind of stop taking your picture, and you stop taking your picture. And we thought that was kind of sad. So we have a portrait program where we have a professional photographer come and do portraits of our veterans. They often hold a image of when they were younger, like their service picture or something. So that's kind of fun, and they turn out beautiful. Our other program is our Paw Patrol program, and that's kind of twofold. We do have friendly pet visitors. When the community calls us about veterans in need and we go in, they often are the last one to admit that they need anything. They're always like, I don't know why they called you. I'm just fine. And it takes about a month usually for them to get to know us. But one thing that's almost like a little golden ticket into their home is if we bring a pet. They always want that. So we do have friendly pet visitors. And the other part of that program is older veterans that have pets and they're having trouble taking care of them. We have one vet that goes in the hospital frequently, and every single time there's no one to take care of his dog. Pork Chop is his name. So we always kind of swoop in and do that while he's in the hospital. And other pet needs, veterinarian needs, food needs. So we help with that as well. And then our last program is new during COVID. We started a program called Telehero. And we place tablets. They're senior friendly tablets. Kind of the machine behind them is GrandPad. I don't know if any of you have seen the commercials, but they're senior friendly, and they're kind of built for what older people want and need to see. And we put those in the home and help the veteran learn to use it. And we did that during COVID as a way because we can then video into the veteran. And we needed that desperately during COVID, but we found out it had like a whole lot of other things that the veterans could learn. And we think that's really important because the COVID vaccine has kind of demonstrated that internet access is almost crucial in healthcare nowadays. You know, a lot of people you cannot sign up for well, I think the county finally did something where you can call in, but before that, you literally had to go online to sign up for the vaccine. So we think it's important to get seniors kind of used to the technology and learning how to do that. I didn't have any slides. I probably should have in hindsight, but our website has a place where you can sign up for a newsletter. We don't spam. We only send 1 or 2 emails a month usually, and a newsletter and really informative of what we're doing. Our Facebook page, if any of you are on Facebook, we're pretty active on there and sharing stories of veterans and kind of some fun content. We receive no government funding for anything we do, and we don't charge our veterans or families for anything we do. So if any of you are interested in volunteering, we are grassroots, like we depend on the community for both funding and volunteerism. So feel free to reach out. And then 2 things that are coming up. The month of March, we're having our Vietnam Veteran 5K. That's the March 29th is Vietnam Veterans Day. So you can either walk for yourself or a Vietnam veteran in your family. And then we also, if you haven't heard, have kind of declared our intention to build a small micro housing village for our most severely in need veterans. And there's some information on our website about that as well. So that's kind of Heroes Bridge in a nutshell. Please feel free to reach out to me or through the website if you have any questions at all. And I think I'm turning it over to Nancy.
Yes. Nancy, you're up next.
I had to unmute.
Okay.
Sorry about that. My name is Nancy Legassi, and I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about Canine Companions for Independence. It is a group that deals with service dogs. And just to clarify, service dogs are not therapy dogs. Therapy dogs visit in hospitals, in nursing homes, in private homes to bring comfort and joy to people and their dogs to be petted and loved on. Service dogs are not social dogs. They work for the person they're matched with. Oh, thank you. That's really cute. Thank you. Anyway, a little bit about me personally. I'm 70. I've been involved with Canine Companions for Independence since 2006. I am diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which, as you can tell, affects my voice and does affect my cognition. So I lose words and at any time, jump in and fill in the blank. I have scoliosis. I've been diagnosed with chronic depression. I was suicidal at one point in my life. I am a victim of sexual abuse. And I have successor dog, Writer, W-R-I-T-E-R, a little bit. But anyway, I want you all to try and imagine having your PhD, but you can't open a door. Imagine being a parent and not being able to hear a smoke alarm. Imagine serving your country, being a hero, and not being able to leave your home, not being able to go into a dark room, not being able to be in a crowd and having people close to you that you don't know. Canine Companions for Independence was founded in 1975. They are a nonprofit. They are recognized as the oldest and the most well-respected service dog group in the country. They have several different types of dogs that they place. And yes, I'm using my notes because I wouldn't remember. So we have service dogs, which is what I have. And a service dog has to provide physical tasks for the person that they're matched with. So they help you with daily tasks. They have hearing dogs, which alert the deaf or hard of hearing by signaling them if someone's calling them from behind and they can't hear it, or if the smoke alarm goes off. They also have what we call skilled companion dogs. And these dogs actually enhance independence for adults with cognitive issues. We also have facility dogs, which work in a professional setting to help educate or work with other people. So if you will, imagine a physical therapist who is working with a child who has cerebral palsy. So they have a lot of tone. And the therapist wants the person to try and extend their arm, and it's painful and they don't want to do it. Well, put a facility dog in front of them, hand the client a brush and say, help me brush right. It's a lot easier. We also place with veterans. I am very proud of this program. So a veteran who has lost a limb, a veteran who is physically disabled, a veteran who has PTSD. These dogs are nothing short of amazing. And the Veterans Program is relatively new. We've been part of studies for veterans at different well-known hospitals and colleges. Feel free to Google the website and check it out if you'd like. The organization, again, is a nonprofit. These dogs are expertly trained. So at 6 weeks of age, we have our own geneticist, our own breeding pool, so no dogs are donated. We use labs, Goldens, and we especially like the mix of the two. Your labs have that willingness to work, and your Goldens have that mushy personality, which is very important, take it from me. So they're all born in California. At 6 weeks of age, they go to volunteer puppy raisers who keep them for 18 months, teaching them basic skills like sit, down, stay, hear. And then at 18 months, they're returned to one of our campuses for advanced training. We have campuses in Long Island, New York, in Ocala, Florida, in Texas, in Ohio, Colorado, and 2 in California. So these dogs go to any of those campuses. And then for 6 to 8 months, they learn things like turning lights off and on, or they're taught opening and closing doors. My dog actually empties the clothes dryer. He helps me to dress and undress. And for the Veterans Program, the dogs are taught to wake veterans during the night who are having night terrors, bad dreams, just having a hard time. they're taught to sweep a room. So if a veteran goes to a door and is terrified to go in, it's dark in the room, the dog will open the light, the dog will go into the room and actually sweep the room. It'll look under the bed, it'll look behind doors, behind chairs. And with the all okay, the dog will come back to the veteran at the door and sit in front of them, and all is good. If, God forbid, something's wrong in the room, the dog will come back to the veteran and bark. So they're just remarkable. They are, once they finish this advanced training, only 50% of them graduate. They may not make the program for little things like they don't like sirens, or they don't feel comfortable getting on an elevator. These dogs never have problems like, well, they bit somebody. It's always for something minor. The ones that graduate are in a pool waiting for a match. Now, once you apply, it doesn't mean that your name is at the top of the list, you get a dog. The application process is extensive, and they know more about you, I promise, than your spouse, your rabbi, priest, doc. I mean, they know everything about you. And so they want to find a dog who is actually perfect for you. I waited 2 years for my first one and 9 months for my successor dog that I have now. Now with COVID, they're moving along a little faster, and veterans, they move those people along a little bit faster. For veterans with PTSD, there are 3 regions for PTSD. The one is in New York, one is in Texas, and one is in Santa Rosa, California. Those are special campuses for PTSD. For veterans with physical disabilities, they can go to any of the campuses. For people that have questions about the program, I posted on the chat my phone number for texting and my email. I don't answer phone calls if I don't recognize the number. I also do presentations and demonstrations for any group. So if anybody's interested, let me know and I can do something virtually. And I also want to add the most important thing, that if you look at any of the other service dog groups, usually the cost for one of these dogs is around $30,000. Yeah, that's me when I could stand up. And that's my dog, Writer. These dogs are 100% free of charge. There's no fundraising, nothing. You are responsible for routine care, shots, food, whatever. But for anything out of the ordinary, if your dog, God forbid, needs a special type of doctor or develops a food allergy, the organization will more than likely cover those payments. My dog, Writer, W-R-I-T-E-R, is named for our honorary chairman. I don't know if you all know Dean Koontz. Any nods if you know who Dean Koontz is? Thank you, Phil. Dean Koontz is the #1 thriller author in the world. He writes very much like Stephen King. You can Google his name and read all about him. He became involved with Canine Companions early on, and he started the fund to help graduates like myself pay for extraordinary medical care. My bucket list, number one, is to get to California and meet him one day so he can meet his namesake here. We don't get to name the dogs. The organization names the dogs. Each litter is assigned a letter of the alphabet. So Reiter was a W litter. Personally, I am still living independently because of my dog. So as I said, he helps me pick things up that I've dropped. He brings me the remote. He covers me at night. He does alert me if somebody comes to the door, which I like. He brings me the phone. I've had several falls, and without even being asked, he'll run and get my phone and bring it to me so I can call for help. On my bad days, he's with me. He can sense if I'm not having a good day, and he will immediately come over, put his head on my lap. It's as if he can smell it. He does not eat off the floor. He does not socialize when I'm out unless he's given permission. I would not be where I am today. And quite frankly, without CCI, I would not be here today, because when they came into my life, that's what turned my life around. I know.
Nancy, thank you so much. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I know I'm getting signals that we need to move on for the Q&A, but this is just extraordinary how this service and your dog, and thank you so much for sharing your personal story and canine companions. Just incredible.
I was gonna wrap it up just then anyway, and for sure, if anybody has questions, you can contact me, and I'm happy to share. I'm happy to speak directly to a veteran who might be interested. So I'm open and happy to help where I can. So thank you all.
Thank you, Nancy. Thanks, everybody. Lisa, back to you.
So we've got some time here that we'd like to take some questions, and I think Jenny has perhaps been monitoring the chat for us. And is there anything there that we want to start with, Jenny, or do we want to open it up? What might we have there in the chat?
I think we'll go ahead and open it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So if you've got a question, if you would open up your mic and let us know first who you're addressing that question to, so that we can make sure we get the right speaker to respond. And we'll start with whoever who's ever got a question.
There is a service, a question about any services for hospice care for vets. Any speaker?
I can take that one. This is Jenna from Martinsburg, VA. If you're enrolled in VA healthcare, first of all, hospice services are generally covered by Medicare, but VA also covers hospice services. They would be covered 100%. That's for in-home hospice. Our VA also has a palliative care unit, which is an inpatient hospice for people who are nearing end of life. And that even though our long-term care and nursing home requires service connection, our palliative care unit accepts all veterans as long as they meet criteria and we have an opening. And I think most VAs do have a palliative care unit. So I hope that answers your question.
Who else? Anybody else have a question for our speakers today?
There's another one in the chat for Molly. Is Heroes Bridge throughout the state or certain counties?
Oh, that's a great question. I should have said that when I was talking. So our official service area is the counties of Fauquier, Culpeper, and Rappahannock. However, in 2020, we received, I think, 48. We just did our annual count. So we received 48 requests for services from outside of those 3 counties, a lot of them in the surrounding kind of counties. We do not turn away any veteran that calls us for assistance. If we can assist them remotely from, if they're calling from other areas, we do that. Or if we have the capacity to go to Fredericksburg or something, we do that as well. And then we always connect them to someone in their area. We'll work it up until we know that they've gotten support where they do live. So the 3 counties of Fauquier, Culpeper, and Rappahannock are our official service area, but call us. If you are a veteran or know a veteran in need, call us and we will figure it out with you together.
We've got a question here. Any resources or groups specifically for dementia-based vets or major behavioral vets?
The VA has full mental health capacity, whether you're talking about Martinsburg, DC, Richmond, since all of those facilities were mentioned in the presentation. Clinical social workers, clinical psychologists, and psychiatrists, those services are available, but you do have to meet the guidelines for VA healthcare in terms of income and or service connection.
Priscilla, anything that I know that's kind of your area of expertise as well.
More, if they were interested, more than I would just find the resources for them, send it to them via email. And of course, they do the footwork of contacting the different organizations that can assist with their needs.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't see any more questions. We are so excited to have so many wonderful guest speakers today and so many folks joining us for this first virtual Benefit Summit. Remember, as I said in the beginning, if there's areas here of interest that we did not cover, if you would please reach out to one of us and let us know. We would love to facilitate another type of a benefit summit like this one with maybe some different type of topics and information. And I just want to thank you all for coming today. Ellen, anything you want to add?
Just thank you so much to all the presenters. You did a great job. That was amazing, staying on track. We had a lot to go through, and we really do appreciate all the good information. We thank you to all the veterans for their service. And also a shout out to the committee that helped to put this together. Melanie Shumate, Jenna Mullins, Barry Barr, Denise Caswell, Kathy Walker, Mike Grant, Aging Together staff, Ginny and Caroline, and of course a big thank you, Lisa, for spearheading the event. So thanks to everybody, and we look forward to doing this again. There's obviously a great need for this kind of information.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a good
you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.